So it's National Afternoon Tea Week, as it happens this week. But of course, I think every week should be Afternoon Tea Week. But I've got a few tips for you if you're thinking of hosting a tea party. So one of them is about not making everything carbohydrates. Now, of course, we love the sandwiches. Be still my beating heart. We love the cakes. We love the scones or scones. You say it how you like. But there are some other options to introduce and ring the changes, and of course not everybody eats gluten these days, so I thought I'd just show you a few ideas to consider. These are not just melon balls, and I did it with a melon ball. It's a little scoop, and you press it into the flesh and you get these little balls of melon in different types. This one's obviously watermelon. I've been naughty and soaked these into Grand Marnier. You don't have to do that, but it may put a smile on your guests' faces. And then they can either go at these with a cocktail stick, it could be a communal dish, or individual glasses of it. So something refreshing, no gluten, brings the changes, bit of colour. Use any glasses you like. The glass is good because you get to see the colours in there. So that's a food for thought there. That's just a bit of mint, a flower off the top of a mint plant. Another idea, I collect little dishes. I'm rather attracted to them. I've got more than you can shake sticks at. And some of them are very inexpensive, indeed, like 20p and so on. And others I spend a little more on. But you can put little cocktails together, such as prawn cocktails, avocado cocktails, even orange and grapefruit cocktails, just to ring the changes on the tea party. And you could have a series of these on a plate or on a cake stand. Again, something that isn't carbohydrate and is refreshing. So I recommend doing that. Prawn cocktails are lovely, and obviously do an avocado version if you've got a vegetarian guest, or something with vegan mayonnaise for your vegan friends. Another tip is jelly, jolly jelly. These ones have still got wobble. I don't know if you can actually see that. So I make different coloured jellies. Today I just made two, strawberry and orange. But you can get lime ones, yellow ones, and so on. And just to have an array, and I've done these in little cups and saucers. You don't have to do that. You could use any little pot, but colour, non-gluten, no carbohydrates, refreshing. Really nice between the sandwiches and moving on to the sweet treats. So think about that if you think your guests would like them. And I would serve them. It's a play on cups of tea, but of course, cups of jelly. A fourth idea, I think it's the fourth, going round charity shops and picking up china. You can pick up some really lovely old china very inexpensively, maybe £2, something not much at all. And they don't even have to match. This doesn't match that, two different sets, but it doesn't seem to matter. You can get plates that are mismatched. It's kind of fun. This doesn't match either, but it sort of goes with it. So the fun for putting together a tea party with mismatched vintage china is very nice. Also, let's just dispel the myth. There's a misunderstanding that with this sort of china, ting ting, that sort, you can't put the tea in without the milk first because it'll crack. No. It's the other way round, where the stories come from. It used to be in Victorian times that downstairs, the servants, they had poor quality china. In fact, it was clay mugs, and they would crack if you didn't pour the milk in first. So the milk had to go in to diffuse the heat. But upstairs, where they had the posh china, it's fine to serve the tea first. And then you would pass it to your guests with the milk and sugar separately, and they would add it as they wished. And also that way, by pouring in the tea first, they can add as much milk or as little according to how weak or diluted the tea is. So anyway, there's some fun to be had with different chinas. And then I've got another tip. We don't all have whatnots, 3-tiered cake stands, the sort you get in an afternoon tea room. We don't all have cake stands, but we all have the means of a cake stand. It's just a cheat. Nothing wrong with a cheat. Take your cereal bowl or a big bowl. It's not going to set the world on fire, but you do have an instant cake stand that way. And even one where if the guests wanted to be past something, you can just do that. So those are some tips for being a host or hostess for a tea party. And mainly though, it's about welcoming, making everybody feel comfortable. Etiquette is actually about consideration. So thinking what they would like. If you know somebody doesn't eat, let's say ham, then either have alternatives for them or don't include it on the menu. I've also learnt that if somebody doesn't eat ham, you don't want to have an array of sandwiches with the ham touching the other ones and saying, oh, just avoid those. Vegans, my friends, often get told to avoid the ones with the meat. That's not really the best consideration. We'll do something separate for them so it's not all lying amongst it. So think about the guests. And lastly, when you introduce them, if they don't know each other, your guests at the party, you know them all, you know they're lovely, but they don't know each other. So think about your introduction. Don't just say, Sally, this is Tom. Tom, this is Sally. That's not enough. Sally, this is Tom. He went to Antigua last year and I believe you're going this year too. How amazing. That gives them something immediately to talk about. If you can do that kind of jigsaw thing where you give them something in common to set the conversation going, that's a really kind thing you can do for your guests, and it will set the party buzzing. And you know when you can hear when a gathering is going well. It's just got that murmur and no awkward silences. So I love tea parties. I love afternoon tea week. And it's not just about carbohydrates, which of course are lovely. And it's not just about alternatives to that. It's about the rapport and the kindness that we can show each other, the listening and the pressing pause on the crazy world that we live in. Happy afternoon tea.